Hello, and welcome to the Senior Spotlight. I'm Amy Bauman, the Director on Aging for Piscataway Township. Senior Spotlight is a great opportunity to highlight our senior citizens, learn about their talents, and hear about how they have contributed to the community. The guests on the show will range from a wide variety of backgrounds. Today, I am happy to have Chor Lee. Chor Lee volunteers at the Piscataway Senior Center, coordinating the computer classes and the room. Welcome, Chor.
Thank you, Amy. I'm glad to be here.
How did you get started being the computer class coordinator?
Well, the vision to have a computer lab was based on our late Councilman Jim Ballard. When we were doing renovations for the new senior center, he made sure that we have a computer room in there. And when we built the extension, he asked me to take over as a coordinator of the computer programs. So that was way back in 2012 when they were building the expansion, and we had our first class in 2013.
How long have you been the coordinator, and what steps did you take to create the programs you have facilitated and taught?
I thought about the program and used the computer program that they have in the library as a sample, because I don't believe in reinventing something. And based on what they were doing, I modified for our seniors to make it simple and to avoid technical terms. So the program started by first creating a computer class that introduced the seniors to technology, and I called that first class Computer is My Friend, so that the seniors taking the class would be slowly introduced to technology without having them to be afraid of that. The program was later enhanced to include other classes, but the basic was to keep it simple and non-invasive.
My question is, did you purchase the books?
The books I wrote myself because I look at all the material that's available from the library and online. They were too technical. And I know the seniors in our generation have very little knowledge of technology. So in order to introduce them slowly, I simplify it and make sure that it contained terms that seniors understand based on our generation. So when I created all the books there, I made sure that it was simple and cover all the material that 10-year-old might be looking for, because seniors are really not that exposed to education in our generation. Not many people graduate from college with a college degree. So I kept it simple within the 10th grade level.
I think that's fascinating that you wrote the books yourself. And that just shows how much you're committed and dedicated to teaching the classes to the seniors. Can you tell me, Chor, what is your favorite class that you teach to the seniors, and why?
The favorite class is when I start talking to the seniors and found that they are very little knowledge of how a computer is connected to the internet and the worldwide internet network. So my favorite class is when I start teaching about the internet. My first class was Internet, My Mirror to the World. Goes into in-depth analysis of technology, how all the computers and devices in the world are connected to the World Wide Web. And then I talk about how it's connected to the internet so that people could understand the connections between our computer in the Piscataway Senior Center, how it's connected to, let's say, somewhere in Russia or somewhere in Europe. And that's my favorite class. And then later on, I expanded that to talk about cybersecurity, because a lot of people getting on the internet doesn't know how to protect themselves from cyber attack. So that's the second favorite class. So everything is based around internet that I consider is very important for seniors to learn.
What is one thing that seniors in the audience today could do to help protect themselves from a cyber attack?
The first thing they need to understand is that when you purchase a computer or maybe a tablet or smartphone, you are getting the basic coverage. You have to learn to go in and redo the setting yourself to really protect yourself. I've taught the classes and did individual teaching and learned that people did not know that. When they say, I bought the computer, the tablet, or the smartphone, and I start using it without really knowing that they are using the default setting. So I went in and did some customized setting for them. For example, you could set to have it do not disturb. If you don't want people to come in and disturb you, you want to protect yourself from people hacking into your computer by putting more strict privacy settings. So that's what I've learned, that people buy things and do not know that it has the default settings, so they should be customized to protect themselves more.
What do you find is the biggest obstacle for seniors to learn computer skills?
The biggest obstacle for any seniors is that they have to go back to school, so they have to learn not to fear education. They have to open up and say, I'm going to tackle this technology. I'm going to make sure that I learn what I need to learn and go home and practice. Practice makes perfect. So the seniors have to come in, sign up for classes, take notes, go home and practice, and make sure that they have learned what they have been taught, and not to be fearful of a computer. Treat the computer as a friendly tool to help you in this current technology.
What is your professional background that led you to be the computer room coordinator?
I have a master in electrical engineering with a minor in computer science. When I came out into the world, I started working in the satellite area, aerospace, where I worked on weather and communication satellite. Then I migrated to working in a pharmaceutical industry where we were doing tests on laboratory animals, and we were capturing those informations to analyze them so that we could see if the drug is working on animals. And then the final, my career went to work at Bell Labs, where I was exposed to a lot of computers and technology, and that's my background and experience. I've been in Bell Labs for over 15 years, and with the knowledge that I had, I want to introduce that to the seniors.
You have a very well-rounded background and you're very educated, so we're very, very blessed that you're there for the seniors in the Piscataway Senior Center. Thank you, Chor. My question is, after that long career that you had, how long have you been retired?
I left Bell Labs and the Bell system about 15 years. So yeah, I've been retired 15 years now. And that was a good experience for when I was there. I learned a lot about telecommunication. In the Bell Labs software division, I was writing software that is used by all the phone companies throughout the US. So if you go to any one of the phone company, they would recognize the type of software that I have, and it's used extensively in those area. So 15 years I've retired.
If a senior was going to start learning computer skills, what is the advice you would have for them to start learning?
I would tell them to go look for some classes. You cannot learn it by yourself. You need to talk to somebody in person. I think the Zooming helps, but it's better to be one-on-one, face-to-face, because this way you get to talk to your teacher, tell the teacher what you're looking for, and the teacher will understand how to schedule the courses toward your personal needs. So I would tell them to do research on the classes available, sign up as soon as possible, and when you come into class, make sure you have a list of what I wish to learn so that the teacher could schedule the class material and the teaching plan.
Thank you, Chor, for taking the time to be on the Senior Spotlight.
Thank you, Amy.
I appreciate the time that you've taken out of your day, and I wish you the best with your future computer classes. My next guest is Daniel Meyer. My next guest is Daniel Meyer. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, Amy.
Thank you for being on the Senior Spotlight today.
Thank you for having me.
I understand that you enjoy painting. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, well, I do enjoy very much painting. I started painting when I was maybe around 14 or 15 years old, and I'm pretty much self-taught. Never, went to school or any academic degree or whatever for painting. It's just come from my own learning and watching, what other people were doing, and of course, watching the masters.
How did you get started being an artist? You kind of told a little bit about it, but can you elaborate?
Well, I started being an artist on and off. I'm an on and off artist because, life being what it is, I had to first do, work, and I was not always able to paint. So I think I should take you back to the years that I lived in Australia. And in Australia, then I started to really, do some painting, serious painting. So I did some painting and mostly reproductions. So I did some reproduction when I was there, and I was there for 15 years. So coming to the United States, it became a little bit more difficult for me to paint. So I had to stop again. And I really went back to painting when I retired. I retired in 1917, and in 2017, sorry. And my wife pushed me, very much, and she said, "Hey, you should do painting again." And I said, "Okay." So we started to do painting, and that's how I started to, also enter the senior competition, and I was fortunate, to win prizes.
In 2017, when you retired, what
Yes.
was your profession?
I was
Your work.
I retired as a sales manager of a scientific instrument company.
So do you think that you went back to painting because you enjoy it, or it made you relax, or what was your motivation to paint?
My motivation was really driven by the fact that I like painting. I'm really like, the being in front of an easel and be on my own and do the painting and do, really what I like.
You have competed in many Middlesex County art contests. Can you tell me more about which areas you placed and what kind of painting you do?
The painting that I do mostly is oil painting on canvas or on board, oil on board or canvas. It's about, what I do. I don't really, I don't do into, acrylic painting or water painting or something like that. I just have one medium that I like and I stick with it.
Are you competing in the art contest this year?
Yes, I am. Yes, I entered the art contest this year, yeah.
And what pieces did you enter?
Well, I entered a piece called Colorful Serenity, and it's a very peaceful and serene place. So I let it people to be, discover, what the painting is when they will be revealed in July this year.
Do you teach painting classes?
No, I don't teach painting classes. No.
You just individually paint for
Yes.
your enjoyment.
For my enjoyment, I take a few myself. I continue, I want to perfect myself. So especially in what we call photo reproduction painting, which means painting the real life, the way the life is, like having a portrait or having an animal or something like this, but looking at doing the real thing, like a photograph, if you like.
Daniel, can you tell the audience about how they could get started with painting?
I would definitely recommend that don't do what I did. I mean, I'm a self-taught painter and I just had, paint and brushes. So take a few courses. Definitely get into with a very, good teacher, somebody who knows the basic of painting. And until a few years ago, I really didn't know, how to start a painting, the real way to start it. How many coat of paint that you have to put in and all of these things. I learned this only a few years ago. So I would say this is the first thing that I would recommend to a newcomer, to the art of painting.
Daniel, can you tell the audience today how they could enter the Middlesex County Office on Aging and Disabled Services Older Persons Art Contest?
To enter the art contest, you just have to produce, your piece, and there are several categories. You don't have to do oil painting. You can be other categories like watercolor or acrylics or any other, categories that are available, and produce a piece and just enter the contest. And because it's free, I mean, there is no cost for entering the contest.
And what happens if you place in the county contest? Is there another contest?
Yes. Once, if you win the first prize in the county contest, then you go to the state contest. Then you go to the New Jersey, state contest. And at the state contest, if you win there, then it's the top of your winning.
To the left of you, I see a painting that you created with a blue ribbon on it.
Yes.
Can you tell us about it?
Yes, this is a pencil drawing on a board, on a whiteboard, and this is come from a photograph that I took at a farm here in New Jersey, and I did one of the horses. There were several horses in that picture, but I only took one, and I did a pencil drawing. And
So
this,
it's not a painting, but it's
no, it's not a
drawing.
painting. This one is.
Excuse me. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, okay.
That's all right. This is a pencil drawing, and it actually got first prize in the county contest.
And did it go on to the state?
Yes, but it didn't win anything.
Well, you must have accomplished it, made it to the state, though. That's great. And what about this?
This is the African American lady.
This piece over here. Can you talk about it?
Yes, this is something that I did because I wanted to try a portrait. I didn't know if I was able to do a portrait or not, so I tried a portrait, and this is what I did.
It's very beautiful.
The African American lady.
You are simply talented,
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Myers. Okay, and we thank you for taking the time to be on the Senior Spotlight today.
Well, thank you, Amy, and thank you very much for having me on.
Well, it was my pleasure and honor. And thank you to all our viewers for taking the time to watch the Senior Spotlight today. Please be on the outlook for future shows with interesting and creative senior citizens.